and welcome to another disappointing weekend for Ricky and Larry. As always, I'm joined by Rick. Ricky, just tell me it was disappointing, and can we just get this podcast over with?
Yeah, let's just get it over and done with.
It's done. Thank you so much for listening. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
stay
all
safe,
that
stay
stuff. But yeah, honestly, man. First of all, how you doing? How you doing?
But listen, I'm sound, bro. Yeah, I'm okay. Obviously, I've had a couple of hours, couple of days, never mind hours, to kind of get over it. Because I'll be honest with you, I was very, very disappointed by the team performance. I'm starting to even think it might not even be a Lampard thing. I just think those players, for Chelsea, this is just... They don't seem to want to put the effort in. It can't be up to the manager to get you to put effort into something. You know what I mean? Like we work. We have managers. We have the owners. Or in any walk of life, you have to put the effort in. And I feel for Chelsea, they're doing the bare minimum, which is literally, I'll just run a little bit. I'll turn up. I'll make up the 11 out starting weekend.
Eight-year contracts, man.
It's just not fair.
There's no
it's just not fair. No, but the guy who was on an 8-year contract was the guy who was running. The ones who didn't, it was Pulisic and Sterling. Sterling was just so poor. Like the 8-year contract guy was literally trying. He was, bless him. Him and Conor Gallagher. Him and Conor Gallagher were the only two players that looked like they were giving something. Fair enough, technically they were making mistakes and like losing the ball. But okay, once you see what the other side of that is, you don't mind them then losing the ball a couple of times. You think, yeah, bro, just keep going because you'll get it right. Just keep going. Whereas Raheem Sterling, who's a Premier League legend, a veteran, maybe not a legend, but a veteran in the Prem, he's just there, just like, and I hate. Oh yeah, man, it's just. But no, anyway, that's pretty much me, man. But we'll get into more details. But yeah, how are you? How are you, Ben? Because 2 weeks, 2 weeks on the bounce, 2-0 up, and dropping points. What's going on?
I mean. No, definitely not. No, not from me anyway. Not from my side. Definitely not. Cronky out. But it's look. The thing is, right? It's very, very disappointing, man. Because we've been top for the majority of the season, barring maybe 1 or 2 weeks when City just sort of creeped up there. But we've been top, and the last 2 weeks have just clearly shown that shown the inexperience of the players. To be fair, That's the only thing I can put it down to, because we scored twice in both games right at the beginning. We started off just shit up from the blocks, and all of a sudden, I don't know. I think what happened in the second half. What happened in the again? It was like a copy and paste from the Liverpool game. 35 minutes. It was great football, brilliant, nice one, attacking, pressing, all that kind of stuff. And then afterwards, after the goal goes in, it's just like yet again we were deflated, and I'm lost for words, because these are the challenges that obviously I've said to you before. These are the challenges that I want to see us overcome.
You have to
and
overcome,
these are the ones that are really proven difficult. And we were talking before when Jesus was injured, like, how's that going to impact the Arsenal team? Are they going to be weaker and stuff? Look, we weren't. Let's be fair. With Jesus out the team, and Nketiah stepped up, Trossard came in. They both stepped up to the plate. But it seems like without Saliba in our back line, and without Zinchenko, I know I've always said Zinchenko's not exactly the best defender, but attacking is another form of defense in a way, isn't it? You've got the ball, he carries the ball, he's got the vision to spray the ball out. And I saw Tierney yesterday, as good as he is as a defender, he cannot play that role. He looked lost. There was 3 instances where Xhaka, Gabriel, and Thomas Partey were sort of yelling and pointing to where they needed him to be, and he kept pointing back like, no, I'm going to stay over there. And just seeing that, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? As a team who's going to go for the Premier League, you know what I mean? That's not something that you want to see from your veteran players like a Tierney, for example. I understand that the gameplay is not at his strength, but you got to do better than that. And by the way, I'm not saying that Tierney is to blame here. No. I think Partey was very poor. Holding didn't have his best game. Saka had a piss poor game, by the way. I don't know if you watched the full match or bits of it or whatever.
I watched second half. I didn't watch first half because I was busy. But first half, obviously, I heard 2-0 Arsenal. I was like, oh, wow. I said, this is clearly then. I couldn't even remember what I predicted.
You know what? Like, I've got it here, but I'll bring it out. I'll bring it out shortly. I think you got an Arsenal win.
I thought, to be fair, I thought you might walk away with it, to be honest with you. Like, I thought West Ham struggling. I know they beat Fulham the previous week at Fulham, but I just thought Arsenal would be too strong. And with the way it started, 2-0 up, I was like, yeah, it's not worth me. I'm glad, because I was listening to it on the radio while driving, and I was like, yeah, it's not even worth my time.
Again, at some point.
And then I heard 2-1, and I was like, oh, maybe second half. Let's see what happens. And then obviously on the chat, one of the boys put on, didn't he? Oh, Saka learned from Salah. And I was like, what has happened? And then I turned it on, and then I was like, oh. But I still missed the equalising goal. I think I turned it on after the equalising goal. So I started watching from 2-2, and I'll be honest with you, like, apart from one time, I think Arsenal, the rest of the time, it just looked like momentum was with West Ham.
Yeah, we could have easily lost that game. Like I said to you, it was a copy-paste of the Liverpool game. And again, at that point, like last weekend, I was like, maybe it's just a Liverpool team. They've got the good players. You know, if they want to turn up, they can turn up, and they can sort of roll over any team. But then when you see the same thing at West Ham, and again, I'm not saying disrespecting West Ham in any way, but they don't have the Liverpool players. They don't have the Liverpool sort of power to do that. And you know what? It doesn't even have to. It doesn't even go down to like a Liverpool power. It just goes down to an Arsenal inefficiency, and the sort of. It was a mixture of things. It was, like I said, Partey was poor. Saka was very poor. Odegaard had a decent game up to a certain point. And again, the manager's substitutions, they did not help at all. Yet again, a little bit too late. You took Odegaard off again, and I'm like, look, you've got nothing else until Friday. There's no reason for you to take Odegaard off unless he was injured, which he wasn't.
Yeah,
like
there was, especially if you're chasing the goal to try and win 3-2. You take him off. Bring him off. I thought Martinelli got kept quiet from again. I only watched from 2-2 onwards. But from those moments, it looked like as if Soufal, the guy
Soufal,
on the
I think it was Soufal on the right back.
Soufal kept him
which is good
quiet.
Which is good. It's good for him because last time they faced each other, Martinelli was just running riots around him, and it was brilliant to see. And you can't help but expect the same thing. And no, the guys learn, and that's where the experience of a football player comes in. He's like, no, I remember what he did to me last time. Yeah, I'm not going to do that again. And that's it. All it takes is 2 steps not to go into that direction. That's it. You've blocked him off. And then your players are back. And look, for me, Partey was 100% to blame for that first goal because he tried to do a little sort of round the body flick. Again, ball comes to him. He tries to flip it round the player's body and sort of run around him. Usually it works. It's a nice little move when it works. It's brilliant. Nice one, Partey. Great midfielder. Clapping.
Declan Rice read that though, right?
Declan Rice was just all it was Declan on him, like white on rice, like genuinely. And I'm not talking about Ben White on rice. You know what I'm saying? No, but yeah, Rice had a very, very good game, and we'd be lucky to have a player like that if we can manage to get him away from West Ham. I'm not saying like obviously we can't.
He's a Chelsea fan, isn't he? He comes from a Chelsea family. They're all Chelsea fans, unless he holds a grudge, because Chelsea will want him as well. And Chelsea have wanted him for a while, to be fair, even under the Lampard era, originally, not now, but when the Lampard
OG era, the
OG era, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. But even during that time, they wanted him, but I think they got priced out at like 100 plus something million, and then they were let's see what we can do. But you know what? He's good. He's a Premier League experienced player. He can play. He proved that against Arsenal. Maybe if he was in a better team, he might be able to do better with better players around him, better organisation. Not saying that Moisey doesn't organise his team, but for me, he's a good player. He's not 100 plus million, but then again, we know you're going to have to pay those prices for English players. There seems to be a premium that you have to pay for anybody who's an English-born talent, or especially with him being England set up regularly in the England team. You'll have to pay 100. I think that's unless his contract is
tax,
low.
isn't it? Like, we can't get.
That's it. Yeah, you just can't get rid of that tax. You're right. That is the best way of saying it.
But no, I think. Go on.
So. I was going to ask you then. So obviously, where do you think it is right now? So I know where the momentum for me lies with City. They've got you at their ground, and it's a final. If they win, they go 2 points ahead. Providing they win all their games, there's still a lot of football to be played. Let's not forget that. They went to Nottingham Forest and drew. You know what I mean? They drew while you guys were winning football matches. So, but then again, you've got to go to Newcastle as well.
Brighton, and
now, I know Newcastle got beat by Villa 3-0. And Brighton, you saw what Brighton did to Chelsea. They weren't afraid of playing. But I think I've got something to say on that in a minute, because I don't think, for as good as Brighton were, I don't think they'll pose a threat for Arsenal, because we were just so poor. We just sat off them. We did not get in their face. Once we got in their face in the last 10 minutes, they didn't really attack then, unless they were trying to protect it 2-1, which you assume.
I think De Zerbi's a clever manager like that.
It just felt like trying to protect it. It just felt like we just gave him so much space and time. Everybody just had like extra seconds on the ball when they should not have had those seconds for Chelsea. But yeah, go on. So where do you think? How do you think the season's going to shape out? Do you think he'll do it?
I don't know if you remember, but I did say after the Liverpool match when we did the podcast, I did say that it feels like it's sort of slipped away. I think I made an analogy or something like that. Do you know what I remember when I told you about the pork pie? And then this game just kind of cemented that, to be honest. It's like going back to the shop on the same day and picking up a pork pie. The same thing happening. It's like, come on, man. No, it's
the same goddamn seagull,
bro. But no, I think right. Yeah, even from last week, to be fair, the momentum has swung in City's favor, and I hate the fact that people will use this as like Arsenal bottled it, but like at the end of the day, I mean, we were top of the league for X amount of weeks, and we're facing.
I think you're top of the league for majority of the Prem. You stayed top, and you've been top all the way till. Well, you still are top. Let's not say all the way.
Okay, up until now, we had more of a cushion than obviously than we have right this minute. But I think with City, they've just got the experience. They've got the strong players. The coach, he's been in this position before, and he knows how to manage these sort of like this last stretch of games. And it's going to be difficult to see. If we play Southampton on Friday at the Emirates and we don't get a result out of that, then that would be the end.
Oh no! If you don't get a result out of Southampton, then I think you deserve to be third. Then, like, you can't go three matches without doing something, and especially when you've been a 2-0 advantage. Maybe it's naive from Arteta thinking, "Oh, let's just get more goals," but sometimes you might have to look a bit,
especially away from home, as well. Like the crowd woke up as soon as that happened, as soon as the penalty happened. And Benrahma shot, he put it away. That was it. The crowd woke up and everything else changed. And I even said to my dad watching it, I was like, this is not going to be easy. Like, even when we were 2-0, there was still little aspects where I was thinking, I still remember the Liverpool game. We were that comfortable in the Liverpool game. But then they obviously did what they did. So even in this match, it was similar feelings just coming back. And it's like, this is not good. Like,
yeah, a lot of the commentators were saying your players were getting tired towards the end. Is that something you picked up on as well? Or?
Well, yeah, I would say that, but again, not something I would never use that as an excuse to say the players are tired, because
no, because what have you done? Like, you didn't play midweek.
Like, let's just. That's why I want to stay. I want to stay away from that. Yeah,
they played on Thursday, by the way, as well. They played on Thursday.
And that's why I want to stay away from anything like that. Oh, they were tired or fatigued. Nah, screw that. No, bro. Like, you're in your last 8 games.
No, but like, I mean, are they tired or fatigued? I don't mean to more of a justification for the result. I mean more of a why are they tired and fatigued.
That's it.
If you've had a full week's rest and a full week's training with the team and you did not play any midweek matches, why are you tired? I can understand if you played, like, I don't know, you travelled to Cyprus somewhere for Europa League or somewhere in Azerbaijan or something, and then you had to come in Thursday, Friday morning, etc. But you haven't. You've not had anything else to do apart from...
That's what's frustrating more than anything, to be fair. It's the fact that, why are these players looking more tired? I mean, maybe it's because, again, just a theory, I would say, we don't have the regular sort of ball playing players, you know what I mean, like a Zinchenko, like a Saliba, maybe even to the point, even a Tomiyasu who could potentially come in. We don't have those players, and maybe the players that we have so far, like right now, they're trying a little bit harder, or they're covering positions where other players should be. You know what I mean? Like a Tierney, for example. If Tierney's in that midfield, chances are, like the Xhakas and the Martinellis, they're going to come back. Jesus, for example, he was. I don't know what tactics Arteta was using, but why was Jesus just that deep? He was almost in that Thomas Partey role, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that because, really? All right, nice one. Now who you got up front? Saka's not performing, so you're only relying on Martinelli at this point. Take Saka off. Like, he's not doing well. Take him off. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why he kept Saka on and not replaced him with Trossard earlier. You misses the penalty, his head's going to drop. He may be a professional player. His head's going to drop. You need to be on top of that. Like, it's all well and good him coming out at the end of the match and going, oh, well, with Saka, players who take penalties, they'll miss them. Okay, nice one. He's missed it. He's missed you a goal. Now take him off because he's not performing outside of that penalty. And it wasn't because he missed that penalty that his head dropped. No, he just wasn't up to scratch. I don't feel like he was. Even in the Liverpool game, I don't think he was that good. And there's been stretches of the season where I've even said to you on the pod, I don't think Saka's been performing well. But you hear every other Arsenal podcast or every other sort of sports podcast, like, oh, Saka's this and Saka's that. Like, okay, great. Yeah, he's had great moments, very great moments, and sort of match-changing moments. But you have to be a bit more realistic. He has to finish the season with that momentum, win something, and then it's like, yeah, he's a great winger. Right now, we're looking at Harry Kane's situation. When he first started, oh, great, he scored 26 goals in his first season, whatever it was. Brilliant. Okay, now let him win something, and then we can discuss this as him being a great player. We just have to be realistic about Saka. He's good, but
But again, but the media don't, and everybody, like, when he's one of our own, he's one of our own. All of us, automatically, you get an extra 20% on credibility of how well you're doing, regardless of. People overlook the things that you're not doing so well, but that's not what we do here, listeners. In any sportscast, we give you the truth. Truth, that's all it is. And I agree with you. I don't think he's been that amazing, to be fair. I've heard debates of saying he's the best player this season, player of the year, if Arsenal win the league. That's going to just say that. I was going to say that as well. Like, every time I've watched Arsenal, even on brief moments, Martinelli has been the better player.
Like, without a shadow of a doubt, he has been the better player. And Saka, like, again, it's just the hype from the media and from the rest of the Arsenal fan clubs or whatever it is. Like, oh, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, he's our lad. I get it. But again, just on the realistic side, he hasn't proven himself in the final stretch of matches. You know what I mean? You look at a Man City team, De Bruyne has been in this position before. Haaland's been in this position before. Germany, he's about to be in this position now. He's not faltering. That guy's just scoring goals. You know what I mean? Whether he's just getting them fed to him or whatever, doesn't matter. He's finishing those chances and he's doing really well. And this is, again, we're the second youngest team in the league. I think Southampton being the youngest, but, we're the youngest team that could potentially go and win the league. But it's showing right now. The inexperience.
I'll be honest with you, if you don't win it this year, it's going to be very tricky next year, because I think the rest of the teams are going to start doing so much better. Well, you'd like to think Chelsea cannot be this poor again. But then you'd like to think Liverpool will probably be better. Newcastle will get more investments. Man U will get more investments. City are going to invest regardless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's going to be, this is the season, I think, for you guys to win it. Same as Liverpool that year. When Liverpool won it during lockdown, they haven't really come close to it again.
They they were on for a quadruple at some point as well, whatever it was. But that didn't, again, that just proved that it wasn't enough. That the players, and to win a quadruple or a treble in the Premier League, for example, as a Premier League team, you really need to have a very strong squad depth. And you can only maintain that for 1 season, 2 seasons, because the other players are going to be like, well, why am I sitting on the bench? I helped you win that. Why am I sitting on the bench and this guy's getting ahead of me? I need to go move. That's it. You lose those players, you've lost chances.
Well, it's that, and it's also financially as well. Like we've just said, Saka's not been as good as Martinelli, but if Saka's going to get a new contract to fend off interest from City, Real Madrid, he's going to ask for about 350 to keep him down a long-term contract. Then Martinelli's going to be like, hold on a minute, I was better than this guy. And as much as we like to think, no, these players don't do that. They love the club. Not so much so. They love money. Everybody loves money. And especially if it's 300 grand a week, is a huge difference between the 150 to 300, like 200 to 300. There's a lot.
It helps that you're playing for your childhood team or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, it's all about that dough. So, we can't even deny it.
Yeah, so for fans like you and I, who obviously are emotionally invested in these clubs, we would play for 50 grand a week, you know what I mean? But however, even Martinelli, he was raised at the club and he came at the club from a young age, but still, that's not his club. He may be a supporter now, but people like you and I would play for 50, 20, because we just love footy and we love playing for our team and representing that.
It's a badge, isn't it? Like you said.
But to the rest of these guys, it's a salary. Like, honestly, I think Raheem Sterling has only come to London to get a salary and to come to Chelsea just to live in London and be the fact of making some money, because I haven't seen him do anything for Chelsea that you'd merit a £50 million move, 47.5, however much it was. But this whole point, I've been looking at him and I'm thinking he needs to offer more. Why is he not doing this? And a lot of people are saying, well, at City he played with better players. At City, no, I get that, but still, it doesn't matter who you play with. You know how to run behind the defense.
The fundamentals of football do not change.
Fundamentals of football, like you're playing an attacking player. You use your pace. This is the problem that I had against with Real Madrid game. Coming to feed. Same again. Enzo Fernandez has got the ball running towards or running directly towards the back line, Brighton back line. My guy decides to stop there at the semicircle and just wait to get the ball, just to give it back to him so he can have a touch. And I'm like, bro, just move. Use your pace. You are a quick player. Scott Dan, or whatever his name is, this big centre half of Brighton, is not catching you. Just run behind. And if anything, but with Chelsea, what I feel like it's completely different to Arsenal is you guys are a team and there's players, and I think Paul Mason said this as well, I read somewhere, that players are willing to sacrifice runs even without getting the ball. And because, you're going to sprint, you're going to run, but if you don't get the ball, you may feel disheartened. You may be like, oh, why did I not get it? Why did they not put me through? But in reality, what you've done is you've created space for that player I have extra seconds. You've created space somewhere else. And Chelsea players at the minute, they all just want to be on the ball. And for me, I think they just don't know that it's only one ball that's going to be shared between 11 players. And there is zero running. There is zero running off the ball from any Chelsea players. Any Chelsea players is zero. They all want to come short for it. They all want to come and then trying to build it up, which is fine. You think, okay, great, build it up, go to the wings. But then nobody's in the box. We've just got like 3 10s. 3 cam players just sat there chilling. Like, bro, one of you's attack front post. And then sometimes this comes down to the manager and be like, if we're in this situation, Raheem, I want you to go here. Regardless of what happens, I want you to run to this front post.
I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to ask you about Chelsea.
Pulisic was weak as well for me, by the way.
I was going to say,
we'll stick on Arsenal
one decent chance from what I saw of Pulisic, and that was pretty much it, to be fair, yeah.
Awful, mate. Awful. He's just too weak on the ball. He can't do anything. When he came, he was like, oh, he's going to be our Hazard, and he's going to be this. And you think to yourself, you know what, okay. He was trickery. He had the agility of Hazard. He just didn't have the strength. He didn't have the body strength.
The legs, isn't it? It's the legs.
In the way and just the legs. Hazard was fantastic. Like, listen, Hazard is one of the Premier League greats. Like, okay, maybe might not be top 10 because he was due to the longevity of it and how short he was in the Prem 4, but Hazard was fantastic, bro. Like, Hazard for Chelsea was amazing.
He would make Chelsea Hall of Fame, like, without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
But we'll come back to Chelsea. In terms of the Gunners, if you will, I genuinely think that Saliba injury has been a major factor, and again, the fact that we don't have anyone else. If Ben White is not having a good game, there is absolutely no one to bring on for him. Tomiyasu's injured and stuff, so you can't bring him on. Zinchenko, if obviously he was injured or had a bit of a knock for this match, so obviously Tierney stepped up, and again, maybe Tierney wouldn't have stepped in if Tomiyasu was available. It's the interchangeable players that we're missing, and it's affecting us. It really is. It's hurting us right now.
But who's at fault for that then? Where do you point the finger for that? Because somebody has to. Okay, you can't just say, "Oh, but injuries happen." I get that. But then you've got to look at it and plan for the season, like you said. So who does it come back to having so many injuries at the back? So let's say Zinchenko wasn't available. What's his name? Your big centre-half, French centre-half. Saliba, not available. Tomiyasu, not available. And like, you got to think to yourself, like, this is one of the reasons why it's so important to have funding, of course. But what can you do with it as well in order to bring players on or buy players in certain positions? You got Jorginho for Partey. Fantastic. You've brought in another attacking midfielder, winger, attacker who can play kind of anywhere on the front three of Trossard. But then at the back, kind of like to cover. I know you had Rob Holding and you had the Croat guy. I forgot his name, who played in Europa League. Guy.
Kivio, yeah.
Oh, was it Polish? Kivio. I thought it was Croatian. Yeah, Kivio. But then, I'll be honest with you, like, these guys maybe are not up to the Arsenal standards. So then what do? Do you let the league slip away, or do you look to invest and bring another centre-half
I think I agree with you. And again, I have not moved away from the fact that I don't know when it was said, but I know I said that if we lose the league, it's going to be another January fiasco like we did last year.
Yeah, I think you remember a couple of weeks straight after the window.
I was happy. Fair enough. You got Jorginho, which obviously at the time, as you know, I wasn't his biggest fan. I still wouldn't say, like, he's my favorite, but he'll do a job. If he's asked to do something, he'll do a job. So yeah, I think, not investing in a centre back like Kivio, fair enough, but you need, even if it was just like someone a little bit older, 28, 29, 30-year-old, just someone to step in with experience. It wouldn't have hurt us at all. It would have worked in our favor, because there you go, Saliba's injured, back injury. that's something that you can't really predict. It all depends on obviously, how he trains and how he's, and what he's training with. So yeah, I think it's, as you can tell by my voice, I'm in a way, I'm getting to the point where I'm just becoming exhausted with saying the same thing 2 seasons in a row when it comes to the final stretch. Last season we're aiming for the top 4. This season we're aiming for the league, and it was just not enough. You look at City's bench, you look at our bench. Just looking at that, you kind of already know who's going to win the league, unless something mad happens in the next few games.
You never know. You never know, because obviously they've got to play Champions League football as well. They've got FA Cup football. They're on for the treble.
So if they win the treble, well deserved.
A part of me, to be fair, because I don't like Man United fans so much, I really don't dislike Man United fans, because all they seem to go back to sometimes when they do so bad is, but we won the treble. But we won. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, and you know what? They did it, and it hasn't been done before. Chelsea won the Mickey Mouse treble. I think we won Carling Cup, FA Cup, and something else, but we didn't win the treble that they seem to hold on a pedestal. And for me, I know you're not going to want to hear this, but I really hope City do it. I hope City win all 3. If Chelsea get knocked out, which is a very high chance of getting knocked out at Stamford Bridge, because if not, then obviously you back your team to the very end to win it. But I've got a funny feeling, and being realistic, can we turn a 2-goal deficit when we're not really scoring goals? Very hard to see. Magical nights have happened at the Bridge. When we've been away to Napoli and lost 3-1, have come back and won 4-0 or 4-1 or something like that. But it's not. We were scoring goals then. Now we're not scoring goals, man. Now it's not looking great. I think. So for me, with City, that's what I want. I think the momentum is with City.
I agree. I can't even debate that at all. To be fair, I think if City win the treble, then would that be Arsenal bottling the league? Is bottling the right word for it?
To be honest with you, for me, I would say so, bro. Like if you're 9 points ahead, bottling would come down to a bottle, because you're literally 3 games ahead. And the reason why you'd use the word bottling is, fair enough if you went to Anfield and you drew or you lost when Liverpool scored first, but you were 2-0 up in 2 matches.
No, we were
2-0. That's literally like you get a chance to reset to take the 3 points. So you've won 2-0. That's fair enough. Okay, you've made a mistake, and then, I don't know, the West Ham scored to make it 2-1. You're like, actually, shit, lads.
And it was the reset ball.
Let's go again. Yeah. I saw it. It was a penalty because I watched the highlights. It was definitely a penalty. But what I'm trying to get at as a team, that is your opportunity to reset and be like, okay, we're taking these 3 points back to Emirates, back to and wherever you're going back to. Yeah. You take the 3 points with you from Anfield, from the Olympic Stadium. But bottle it. To be honest with you, like, if you don't get it, it is a bottle job. It is very Spursy.
When you consider a team like Man City and just the relentlessness of City, I don't think I would personally class it as bottling. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it would be hugely disappointing. I think bottling wise, if we had every single one of our starting 11 and we were doing this shit, then by the end it would be bottling. No, however, when you're missing key players, and by the way, in no way am I using that as an excuse, because at the end of the day we were 2-0 up in both matches. Okay, I cannot stress how much I agree with you on this, but I just don't think it's fair to call it bottling after we've been top of the league. And, at the end of the day, get beat by a City. We haven't played that matchup, but get beat by a City who, again, you've seen play. They are on next level. And if they win the treble, I definitely don't think it's bottling from Arsenal. I just feel like we got beat by a better team. I wouldn't say bottling.
If it's a knockout phase, I can understand what you're coming from. But if it's like a league stuff, you guys were 8 points ahead, bro. You were 8 points ahead not so long ago, because what was it? They beat you guys. Then you had your game in hand, and I think you were on equal points, but they got ahead because of the goal advantage. You beat Everton or smashed Everton.
It was that Everton match to make up for fucked us up really. That game in hand that we had. But that game in hand that we had.
Yeah, the 1-0 that you lost. Yeah. But no, but the game in hand that you had, you smashed them. You won, and then you got 3 points again. Then you won the next game, and then City dropped points at Nottingham Forest. So you were 5 points clear. So, and then to a point where City started not losing points. City had a game less, but you were 8 points ahead. And we talked about you guys. You'd rather have the points than the game.
No, for sure.
If that makes sense, and that's still the same situation. But once you get 8 points ahead, like, it's in your hands. Like, you literally have got one hand on the trophy at 8 points ahead this late in the season. Personally, anyway, these are all opinions, and that's the beauty of the podcast. But personally, for me, it'd be like, you can't go win and from a winning position where you are Anfield, regardless. I know everybody says, "Oh, Anfield is this, Anfield is that," and it is. It's a fortress. It's very difficult to go and play there and win. But you were doing it so comfortably. You turned Anfield into a library in that first half, and then for some reason, just the players that probably felt, "Oh, this is in the bag." Maybe same again at the Olympic Park, West Ham. Again, you're probably 2-0 up and you thought, "Oh, this is in the bag." And then automatically, that's why we use the term, if you don't get it, it'll be a bottle job.
I think it depends on obviously how the season actually ends and the point difference and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't think.
But no, like for me, honestly, bro, if you don't finish first, or even if you finish on the same points, like coming back from City winning from 5 points.
That would hurt so much more. If they win by 4 points ahead of us by the end of the season, I'd be like, do you know what? It's them 2 games that let us down. That's it. It was 2 games that let us down. Yeah, fair enough. We bought all those games from the 2-0s. But again, we, at the end of the day, they are such a better team at this moment in time, and they have been, for a few seasons. But like you said, we had it in our hand. It was right there. It was right bloody there, and it just wasn't there anymore. So, look, I don't want to keep going on Arsenal because it frustrates me even more. And there's not much I can say that's different to the Liverpool conversation that we had because it was exactly the same game, exactly the same disappointing performance by the end of it. So, no, I think we should move it on to Chelsea because I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yeah, bro, like shoots away at Chelsea. So, disappointed. Another very disappointing weekend. 100% record for Lampard in losses since he took over. Lost against Villa, lost against Madrid, lost against
Brighton.
What do you call it? Brighton. Against Madrid, to be honest with you, I felt like we were a good team. We played well. We just could not get attacking, couldn't get a goal. And even Glenn Hoddle on the match said it, there's a goal coming from Chelsea. And I thought to myself, okay, that's something to build on. Let's build on that same performance. But this time, tell João Felix to get in the box. Tell Raheem Sterling to run in behind. Practice what you want to do against Madrid, against Brighton, effectively. Because they're going to play the same way. Attacking football. Not afraid to attack, not afraid to get in your face. And that's exactly what happened. They were pressing us to the point where we could not get out. And even when we did try to get out, there was somebody already marked. Flip that on the side when Chelsea lost the ball and tried to have a go at Brighton and trying to press Brighton, just non-existent. One player would run there, the ball would get passed around. Before you knew it, with 3-4 passes, they were already in the attacking phase in front of the Chelsea goal, having a pop at goal, having a shot. And I was saying to my father-in-law, because I watched it with him, I was like, how is it taking Chelsea 20 passes to move there? And it takes Brighton, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there they are. And they've just had a shot at goal. And you think, and that's, again, there's just players not willing to work hard enough to put their body on the line and be like, no, do you know what? I'm just going to run. Even if it doesn't anything comes of it, I'm just going to run. Raheem needs to put more pressure on the defenders. He didn't. Pulisic the same, did nothing. There were a couple of moments for Mudryk, but then very soon after Brighton equalised, no ball went down on the left side. Everything tried to come down the right. And then there's nothing he can do, the lad. Like, he can't be everywhere. He's in a position. It's just tricky. He tried as well. I don't know if you saw that run, and then he had a shot from 40 yards.
That was a decent pop. That was a decent
pop, my son. Yeah, great power on that. But again, you want to encourage that. You want to encourage more of that from him. When he's on his right foot, he seems to be better. When he's on his left, it seems to be that touch where he takes it 3 yards in front. But yeah, anyway, like, I'm not having a pop at him. My pop with him is Sterling and Pulisic, because every time Chelsea were defending and getting rid of the ball forward, he just came straight back. There was no breathing room for the defense.
It just looked like a bunch of individual performances from a Chelsea squad from everywhere, to be fair. Gallagher, I know he scored, but I don't think he had the best game, or he didn't. He was made to look like he wasn't having a good game. And Zakaria, he was quiet. He was quiet pretty much. I didn't even see it.
To be honest with you, Zakaria wasn't even playing. I was going to say, playing.
I was surprised to see him start on the starting lineup. Nothing. So my first question is, how is he leaving Reece James off the squad? And your answer cannot be because he plays Madrid.
No, exactly. Because that's the reason why he's done it, but he should not have done that. Like, Reece James could have played 40 minutes. Reece James could have played 50 minutes.
Establish,
you know what I mean? Like, to keep that match sharp.
You put your first 11. You establish your dominance as much as you can on a Brighton team, and then because you're at home. I mean, you're at Stamford Bridge.
We even went to 4 at the back. We didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Exactly. I mean, you literally you were at Stamford Bridge and you played 4 at the back. And again, it's not a Chelsea performance. Even Lampard came out and said that's That's not a Chelsea performance. But it's like, all right, nice one, Lamps. But it's literally up to you to,
you're in charge, bro. Like, it's up to you to put a Chelsea performance. No, exactly. Like the Reece James thing, like you can understand it as fans. You're like, oh, but if we go through, that's why. But the question is, you can't go on what ifs. You have to kind of play with what's in front of you. And Reece James could have played 50, 60 minutes.
You tell me Kante
could have played a half.
Done the same.
Established to... Kante could have done exactly the same as well. This is what I mean. This is his opportunity to try and run the game plan on how to play against Madrid. Because sometimes they always say play your own game, and people might be like, oh yeah, but he's playing Brighton camp. Yeah, but like, how are you going to attack? What transitional phases you're going to have with the ball from defense, midfield, attack? Put that team forward. Use this as a practice match against Madrid and pick out on points and be like, again, like I did, like I'm sure majority of the Chelsea fans have. Why is the players not attacking the box? Why are players waiting at the edge of the box just to get a touch on the ball? Like, why is no one attacking front post? Why is no one making a run to the far post just to move those defenders around? One defender could mark 3 Chelsea players against Brighton because they're all just stood together like in a group and doing nothing. And if a player's got the ball, the player would come to try and be like right next to him and say, give me a touch. As far as I am from this computer screen while we're recording this podcast, move. I can make a 5-yard pass, like move away from me.
You need to make them runs behind. Like you said, Sterling was zero runs. Very, very disappointed. Runs. And again, he has been for a while.
Sterling was awful. Sterling's been awful for a very long time. Awful has been. Pulisic was the same. And what I want from them is to be a bit stronger on the ball. Like, don't try and take someone on if you're not confident. Pass it back and then run into the space. Okay, try once or twice, but learn to use your body as well. Like, look at Vinicius Junior. What he does, he runs directly at the defender, knocks it past. Okay, he's got super speed, but he knocks it past, and then apologies, that little disconnection.
All good.
And knocks it past, and then he decides to throw his body, not throw his body, but use his body into the defender so he can't get knocked off. It's Chelsea players just go over and be like, oh no, I don't want to get hurt. Oh no, I don't want to get hurt. Like, stick your leg in, lad.
That's just
put a foot in.
Just something.
Do you know what I mean? Just like put a shift. Basically, the thing that I want to see is a shift. Somebody putting a shift in and just thinking, do you know what? I'm just going to run. I'm going to run 8 kilometers this game. I'm going to run 10 kilometers.
You know, put in the night shift.
Yeah, somebody put a shift in,
and you can potentially do something. But no, it was. Look, I mean, even from.
Barry Shield was awful as well, by the way. Barry Shield was awful. Did not know how to play with 4 at the back, being like one of the main centre halves. He did.
I'll be honest with you. From what I watched, I don't think I'd blame Barry Shield too much. I think Fofana was having a nightmare of a game.
Fofana, the thing is, Fofana, he looked like he was everywhere again. But Barry Shield for me was just too slow. He didn't know what he was doing. I felt like I'm watching him go. I was like, oh, where's he going? Fofana got double teamed each time. That they left Chelsea right, the Brighton's left hand side. We got tortured. What's his name? Mitoma, fantastic. Their left back, I think, I forgot his name, kept coming down there. Caicedo was playing down that side as well. So, like, Estupinian, that's the one, the left back. Estupinian, who was just always overlapping. So, kept Reece James quiet because he was overlapping. Not Reece James, sorry. Trevor Chalobah.
Did not have a good game either, by the way.
Kept him.
Did not have a good game at all.
He did nothing, bro. He did absolutely nothing.
And again, it begs the question. Again, it begs the question, you know, how are you not starting Reece James in a match like this where you know Brighton are going to attack and you know Reece James is going to be a very good outlet in that counter-attack? Do you know what I mean? But like, to be fair, looking at just the substitutions that he made from the 57th minute, he made 4 subs. He made 4 subs, brought on Ziyech, James, Kovacic, and João Felix, and obviously took off Enzo Fernandez. What's he taking Enzo Fernandez off for? I understand for the midweek game, but he hasn't done much to sort of be like, you know, oh, you deserve a rest. No, you need to win this game because, like you said, Rick, you cannot go into football matches in tournaments thinking, oh, what if this happens? You've got to do that right now.
You can't do that.
Forget what if.
We needed a victory. Exactly. We needed this victory. We needed the momentum to be in our favour and be like, we won. We needed the fans to give the fans something to believe in when they come Tuesday night. Because if we beat Brighton at home, the fans are already coming in where the last thing they remember is seeing Chelsea win. Nobody remembers, you got beat by something. Oh, we played, we won, we could do this. And then when you turn up on a Tuesday night and you walk out and you see the flags and you see the players, the fans cheering, you're going to be like, actually, do you know what? There's the chance we can do this. And that belief gives you an extra 10, 20%. And I'm telling you,
volume in the stands, isn't it, in the stadium? That's what it is.
Yeah, but even in terms of effort, like you're so confident that you're willing to try stuff and some reason it just pulls off. Like you think, oh, I can't believe he scored that. But it just somehow it seems to come for you if you're full of confidence and you're playing with confidence. Now, I'm not saying winning one match is going to give them all the confidence they need, but it would have gave them something more than losing.
Yeah.
And taking that defeat to Brighton has been hard to swallow. It's not even the defeat; it's the manner that we lost.
It's the performance. Yeah, that's what's going to be stinging.
It's just a lack of effort.
Yeah.
Just a lack of effort.
We're in the same boat in terms of,
and I don't know how
we're in the same boat for the stinging of performances. By the way, like
Yeah, but like your team was 2-0 up. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I can understand why yours hurt. My team scored a goal, and you think to yourself, "Oh, that's it. We've scored a goal." And you look at the replay; it was a lucky goal. It was a huge deflection, and then we did nothing after that. It wasn't like, "Okay, now let's keep going." Okay, now let's keep going. It was more like, "Okay, now we just scored that. Maybe it was lucky." It's just like Brighton, this lack of belief, this
constant
Brighton were fantastic. Brighton were fantastic. For as good as they were, by the way, that we made them look even more amazing. Yeah. And I go back to the lack of pressing from Chelsea. The only time we pressed was when the ball was in front of our box. Like, that's not good enough. Defense.
I just feel like your midfield is very weak at the moment. I mean, like you said, Enzo Fernandez can't do everything himself, and that's when someone like a Kovacic or a Kante would have been a very good addition for this match, because again, you couldn't at least control the midfield. It was the wrong selection from Frank. Like, you can come out and be like, "Oh yeah, that wasn't Chelsea performance." At the end of the day, mate, you made the team selection. You told them how to play. You're telling me Sterling's not going to listen to his manager or his boss going, "Right, I need you to run straight down the middle. That's all you need to do. Run behind, straight down the middle." Like, how is Sterling not understanding this?
And if for example, bro, if he's not listening, then you bring him off. Doesn't matter how much he's on. Doesn't matter who he is. If he's not listening, you bring him.
My point exactly. And then with Sterling, he is, experienced enough to know that is literally what I'm here for. That's what they've brought me into this team for, to make them runs behind. And like you said, either he's not listening, which is a case of, right, he doesn't deserve to start next game or any other game for that matter if he's not listening to the manager, or if he can't do that specific task because he's getting older or whatever excuse you want to be using, then again, do not start him. Do not put him on. The only time you could potentially put him on is if you're winning like 4-3 or something like that, and you need someone just to cause a little bit of mayhem with the speed. But
I hear what you're saying, but if he's not listening to the manager, then clearly he shouldn't be at the club. It's a very much a situation. I'm not saying that he is, by the way, listeners. We're not here on thinking, or we're not speculating anything, but any football player who's not listening to the manager, then mate, for me. David Beckham tried it with Sir Alex. He got the hair dry treatment and then got shipped out. Aubameyang tried it with Arteta, got shipped out. And it doesn't matter who's the manager, like the club should back the manager. I don't think that's the situation. I just think Sterling was trying something. And I think as a manager, you just got to kind of shout at him, bro. I know he's an adult, but like literally have a go at him. Hold him accountable. That's a better word. Not shout at him because he's not a child, I guess, but hold him accountable for what he's not doing. He's a professional football player. He's easy to follow simple instruction. Like you and I could be playing. Lamps could say to you, like, "Rick, I need you to stay in that area, pal. I don't want you to be dropping past this point. Stay in that area. I need you to be in the box. Even if you only get 5 touches in the whole match, that's where I want you to stay." Listen, and then that's on him. You can come out and be like, "Oh, Raheem Sterling had an awful game. He didn't offer much." But like you hear players about Haaland sometimes when Haaland only takes 10 touches all match. All commentators like, he's making the runs, but no one's finding him. He's making the runs, but no one's finding him. That's a good problem to have, because you can coach that and be like, do you know what? Especially from a Chelsea point, no one's making the runs. Like I said, I go back to what I said before. Like Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Henry, the greatest strikers in the world can be at this Chelsea squad. We don't seem to be wanting to pass the ball forward. And when we do get in those forward positions, once, twice in 90 minutes, no one's there. No one's there to cross. It's just so frustrating because Reece James and Chilwell against Madrid away, and I don't want to keep coming back to it. We're putting balls in the box, but like, who's going to win it? 3-foot Raheem, 4-foot tall Felix with João Militao in there.
I'll tell you that much.
It's not looking great, man.
What about Havertz, by the way? What about Havertz? What was Havertz for this match?
Exactly. Why didn't Havertz play? He didn't play against Madrid. Why didn't he come on?
Havertz. I didn't even see him on the bench.
No, he wasn't. He was off completely. I don't know whether something must have happened. But listen, if things are kicking off behind the scenes, not kicking off in the negative sense, but like if people are talking and people are shouting and trying to hold each other accountable, I think that's very good, because they need to do it, because some Chelsea players really need to pull their finger out. And during such moments, that's when leaders are formed. And leaders for the club will be there. So, like, maybe if Havertz is one of those guys, be that guy. Mason Mount, I think, could definitely be a leader for Chelsea, because he literally just comes on and just wants to play.
He came on too late. 75th minute he came on. 75th minute, and it's just another tactical sort of deficiency that Lampard has or seems to be having with the selection of his team. Look, again, just going real quick to Arteta, he seems to be having similar problems. He can't decide whether he wants to go ahead and win the match or whether he wants to just sort of stick back. And it's the inexperience of the managers. I get that, but at the same time,
that's true. And I understand that. But I do think
these are elite teams.
It is elite football, and you should be able to do tactically. Not have. I personally think if any manager makes during the second half, early second half, 10 minutes, 15 minutes into the second half, you make 3 changes all at once.
Yeah,
you clearly got something wrong.
My point exactly. Yeah, 57th minute.
If you do 3 changes in one goal, you've clearly done something wrong. Yeah. Or 4 changes. There you go. Like you've clearly done something wrong, and you should come out and hold your hands up and be like, "That's on me. We should not have done this." But as a manager, like you say to yourself, you've come back, you know the club, you knew this. I struggle to understand why did he not go with the team that he's possibly going to play against. I know you don't want to give all your tactics away, but Madrid are always going to be guessing who you're playing. But try something that you were looking to do, that match against Madrid on Tuesday night. And for me, I don't know whether he's trying to throw Ancelotti off, trying to throw their scouting system off. We're going to probably come and watch the game. We'll probably play with 5 at the back.
I think that's given too much benefit. I think that's given too much benefit because, like you said, he needs to win. It's not like he's in the top 10 safely, securely in the Champions League or whatever it is for next season, and then he's experimenting this.
That hurts, bro. Not even top 10. That hurts. I'm not even lying. No, I know you're not, but that actually hurts when you say Chelsea not even in the top 10. You think, fuck.
It's the experimenting that gets to me, and it's like. You're in no position to be experimenting with your team right now because, like you said, you need to win in the league. And yes, obviously, if you can, you're trying to win in the Champions League as well. But, I understand.
Well, that's why Potter got the sack. He was too many experiments, wasn't he? Like, he never didn't have a starting 11. Like, whose is his 11? Who are you trying? You've got so many players. You don't have to play all at once.
I thought with Lampard coming in and knowing the sort of some of the core players, I just thought, right, okay, that's going to be easy for him to be like, all right, you are my 3 that I need without a shadow of a doubt. The rest I'm going to put around you and see how it works. Again, hasn't Lampard watched any of the matches that Potter managed throughout the 6 months or whatever?
You like to think so,
because again, that's how you're going to learn from a manager who's just been sacked. And now you've inherited his team that he got given, sort of thing. So yeah, I just feel like with these younger managers like the Lampards and the Artetas, it just it's coming to a point where some ideas are just not working, and sometimes it feels like they're running out of ideas. And I hope to God for Arteta that that's not what's happening here. I just hope this is not a 1-season wonder, because if it is, then we're right back to where we were. What's the point of enjoying 1 year of Champions League football when the next season you're going to end up 6th or 7th or whatever it is because you haven't invested correctly or you've still got the same players? Yeah, look. There's a lot of things. And obviously, Arsenal have got a problem of they don't have enough players. Chelsea have got the other problem of they've got too many players. So both teams need to find a right balance within themselves to obviously to try and start winning football games again.
Yeah. And I think for Chelsea, what they need to do is literally get that spine right. Who is going to be down the middle? Havertz, just say to Havertz, you are my guy. You're going to play every game. Perfect. Give him that reassurance and the confidence. Keep trying your stunt. You are my guy. You're playing. Enzo, you'll definitely get starting 11 because he's been fantastic since he joined. Out of all the Chelsea players, he's been a rock. He's been very, very good. And then at the back as well, Thiago, you're back. You're my guy as well there. There's those 3 and Kepa. Afterwards, Reece James, you're playing every game. Chilwell, you're going to play up. And then slowly, the team starts to form himself. But then also within, when you pick the spine, I think I'll go back to the Chelsea days when Chelsea started winning under the Abramovich and Mourinho, Drogba, Lampard, Terry, and Petr Cech in goal. Those guys then became leaders in the changing rooms. We can throw this season away. We're not realistically going to get relegated. Never say never. But
realistically, I don't.
Hopefully we don't. But realistically, we're not going to get relegated. So we've wiped the season clear, but learn from this season. Okay, where did we go wrong? We have 0 leaders. Okay, how can we get some leaders in this team? We need certainties on the starting 11 who are going to hold other people accountable. And just that's how you do it. Like if you're going to have a meeting, who's he having a meeting with? Or who's having a meeting with his favourites? That's what players will probably say around the changing rooms. But really, you're having a meeting with your certain starters. Havertz, let's say, Enzo, Chilwell, Reece, Thiago for another 2 more years. This guy doesn't seem to age at all. Do you know what I mean? He's not aging at all, is he really? And then slowly, those players then can become leaders on the pitch and hold people accountable. And when that happens, then you start having a good formula. For me, that's what I think he needs to do. He needs to stick. We're playing Tuesday night. He rested players. We go through hopefully we go through, we do what we do. If we don't, then stick to 1-11. Just pick that 11 week in, week out.
Yeah, they're going to learn. They're going to learn from each other. I think the problem, or one of the problems, is because there's that many players in the squad. Finding, like, for certain players who's supposed to be leaders, for them to find a voice, it may be difficult because they don't know. They don't know how Todd Bowley's going to react. For example, if someone, like, for argument's sake, you've got three players before Todd Bowley took over, you've got three players who are just picking on Mudryk for argument's sake. Oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. But now, your big boss, your executive, has spent hundreds of millions on bringing this guy in. Now there's three players saying that he can't play, or they're taking the piss out of him. Whatever. Again, I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but I'm just trying to make a point. Now Bowley's they don't know what Bowley's going to do. They don't know if he's going to come down and be like, all right, well, you three lads are suspended because I've paid money for this guy. I want him to succeed. Again, it seems like the temperament of Bowley could come to that as well. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you three players, I know you're experienced, blah, 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 but I've spent 100 million on him, so I want him to be succeeding, and I don't really care about you. So again, sometimes it's a little bit difficult because you don't know who your boss is. Like, you don't know how he's going to react. He gave Potter a chance, fair enough, but then at the point where you think, all right, this is definitely the point of no return, he's not going to sack him now, boom, he does it a week later. So
it's just difficult. And I think with Todd as well, like you made the example, I wanted to get your opinion on this. Apparently he's coming to the changing rooms quite frequently. I don't know how you feel.
It all depends on what he's trying to say to the players, because
I think he's just trying to motivate the players. I think according to Lamps and a couple of them just coming in very positive words and stuff, because it's not up to him to come to the players and be like, oh, you did fucking shit, what are you doing? Because that just turns the players away, especially young millionaires who can't handle it. And I want to give an example of Wayne Rooney arguing with Sir Alex, and apparently he argued with because he shouted out Rooney because Ronaldo and Nani kept losing the ball. So he just kept saying to Wayne, why the fuck do you keep dribbling? You keep losing the ball all the time. And Wayne Rooney's like, what? It's not me. But later he realised if he did that to Nani and Ronaldo, they'd start crying.
Because they can't handle it,
If he got shouted or if they got singled out in front of their peers, then they would shout. They would cry due to not being able to handle it. Yeah, exactly. And you look at the Chelsea squad, there's some young millionaires there who need some hard truth. But if you give them a hard truth in front of everyone, then they would literally
that's the confidence
crumble.
Gone, and then they'll obviously end up playing in the under-21s or under-19s or something to get some experience.
That's it. But for me, I would say as a manager, tell somebody afterwards, if the game is shit, I'm going to come in and I'm going to hammer you.
You're my guy.
You be prepared. This is what I'm going to do to you. You're my guy. You're my captain. You're my vice captain. I'm fucking hammering you. But I'm speaking to everyone else.
You are the guy who has to spread that message in your own way to them players. And I agree, because at the end of the day, the captain is the guy on the pitch. He can see as much as the manager can see, the captain can see exactly who is making that run or who isn't making the effort, to go into the space, form the little triangles. Because it's easy to spot. If you're a captain, you've got another player with you and you're thinking, wait a second, where's Gallagher? Why is he not here forming this triangle, for argument's sake? So it's stuff like that. Then, you're right. I agree. The captain is the manager of the field at the end of the day. And that's who the messages pass through, because the manager, obviously, has to treat everyone or, try and treat everyone similarly. But there's not that one guy who's going to take the shit. That's why Granit Xhaka, I think he takes the shit sometimes from all the managers that he's had. The three managers that he's had at Chelsea, at Arsenal, he's been the guy who takes the shit. And do you know what? He can handle it.
He can handle it, though. He's a character. He can handle that. And he won't take it personally. He knows it's simply just a football game.
He'll move straight on.
But he won't be... That's it. Exactly. After those 90 minutes, those moments are done. He's gone and done and dusted. But Chelsea don't have
at the moment anyway.
Another thing is I don't want to make an excuse for is I think the guys obviously who we've brought in, especially the two big signings, can't speak a word of English.
Yeah, that hurts as well.
And I think on the pitch that has a main thing, because I see sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes I see runs made by what's his name, Mudryk, and you think to yourself, put him through. Like literally put him through. He's got the pace. He's the fastest in the Premier League, or the fastest recorded pace in the Premier. Just put him through. And then if he doesn't get put through, if he could speak English or had the confidence, of not just English, but had the confidence, turn around and hold people accountable. Beat to fucking Kovacic. Cover, what the fuck are you doing? Like, put me through. You saw I was there. Reece, Chile, whoever, just like put me in. I'm making the runs. You need to pick. You need to pick me out.
The peers, isn't it? Like
but it's confidence. It's that's all it is. If you can't speak English, confidence with the peers, new to the country. Do you know what I mean? Like these are the things. So I'm hopeful for next season. I'm hoping, but again, only hopeful if we have the right manager. If we have the manager who's got good man management skills, who's got good tactics, who's got good fresh ideas. We need some fresh ideas. Potter and Lampard seem to be very similar ideas, and it's just not working. But what I want to see before, obviously, we wrap it up for Champions League, I'd like to see, again, 5 at the back. I'd like to see Mudryk play. I think he will scare Madrid's defense with his pace. I don't think Chilwell. Sorry, what's his name? Carvajal running the other way will go as freely as he does because he'll be worried leaving space for Mudryk.
Again,
behind.
if Lampard uses his brain to actually tactically play
that's it. Well, I think I might tweet him after this just to see
link. Yeah, you need to link for this
episode. Sure. But even if Mudryk is playing on the right, on the Reece James side, he can track back when he's Vinicius Junior is fancying himself for pace.
I'd like
to see him trying to track back and just run back to be like, do you know what? Yeah, you're quick, but I'm also
and a bit stronger as well.
I mean?
Hopefully, he's a bit stronger as well.
So you'd like to think so anyway. But I am worried for goals. I am worried where the goals are going to come from. But I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm hopeful. I don't know why. I've got a feeling that we might turn it around. I've got a feeling we'll probably win 4-1.
I'll tell you what then. I mean, do you have anything else that you want to add on Chelsea, by the way, from the weekend?
No, just come on, you Blues. Come on, you Blues. Right. The weekend's gone, man. The weekend's gone. It's Monday night. The weekend's gone.
All right, so for the Champions League, then we'll rattle off a couple of predictions for the Tuesday, Wednesday games. Chelsea, Madrid at Stamford Bridge. What are we thinking? Rick? What are we thinking realistically?
4-1 Chelsea.
Is ridiculous, right?
4-1 Chelsea. 4-1 or 3-0 Chelsea. I've got a feeling we'll probably score 3 and we'll be.
I could see a 1-0 Chelsea win at Bridge, but you're not going to make it through. I don't think. That's just again. I'm just looking.
Shoot, with your negativity.
I think the one goal I'll give you is because you're playing at Stamford Bridge, and you may just sneak one past them, but. If it's the same performance as Brighton, then unfortunately, Real Madrid are going to run riot.
I'm hopeful for the performance. Now, I think it'll be a different performance to Brighton. I think Champions League is slightly different because the players, we won't get pressed by Madrid the same way as we got pressed by Brighton. I think it's very important to win those midfield battles, and because the midfield for Madrid, it's Kroos, Modric, and what's the other guy? Valverde. The Uruguayan or Argentinian?
Yeah.
Valverde, like, wow, just that trio alone. Valverde's energy, Modric's experience, Toni Kroos's passing range. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes it's not even real, or shouldn't be real, really. So
you just think, like, what cheat code have these guys used? You know what I mean? Like, how has he got these three together? And then obviously you think of top Benzema, who just seems to be on fire. Vinicius Junior is on fire. Defensively very good. Keeper's amazing. But what I'm very hopeful for is, we lost against Dortmund, but at the Bridge we turned it around. It seems to be something about Champions League nights or European nights at the Bridge.
It could be.
So I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. I've got a feeling that we will win 3-0, 4-1. But whatever we win, I've got a feeling we'll go through.
That's fine. That's good.
We'll make it into the semis.
We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow night as we record this.
And
that would be interesting. Next game. I think look, if you play City and you manage to beat City in the next round, I think you're just going to go ahead and win it. To be fair, because you've done the difficult bits. To be fair,
don't tease me, bro. This is like when you buy the lottery ticket and think, oh, what am I going to do with my 100 million? This thinking like this is literally like, well, what I'm going to do is this. Like, oh yeah, you gave me wishful thinking here. Because then when it doesn't come through, you're like, oh, what? Who won it?
What are they going to do with 100 million? What do they need 100 million for?
What are they going to do with it? They would have spent it better than... No, I hear what you're saying, but it's wishful thinking. Now, listen, tomorrow night, I'm hopeful. I'm just hoping for a good performance. I'm hoping there's been 2 games where we've not had no one attacking or nobody running behind with the pace of Sterling, Pulisic, and... yeah, even João Felix is quick. I'm hoping somebody spoke to João Felix. If he plays tomorrow, to be like, bro, if you've gone past so-and-so, don't try to go past them again.
Don't turn directly into them.
Left or right. Yeah, don't turn into them again. Just have a pop-up goal.
You know what it feels like with João Felix? It feels like, you remember on like with the earlier FIFAs where you had to use a player to get the star rating up, like, the skill moves. So you just go do skill moves around everyone on the pitch, and you think, right, even though I can score, I'm going to come back at you just so I can do a little skill move and get one star up. That's what it feels like with João Felix, to be fair.
That's how it feels with João Felix. Literally, they hit the nail on the head there. That is João Felix trying to get his skill moves up on FIFA 03 or 04 or whatever.
Left-footed. Your left foot's not working, bro.
This guy, bro, he's so technically gifted. He's literally so gifted, and the way he uses his body, there are moments you think to yourself, wow, you are very good. You make the difficult stuff.
But that final step.
But then he wants to do that again. No, he does that, and you're everyone's like, wow. And then he does it again.
We've seen you do it, but it didn't work this time.
All the good work is forgotten once you lose the ball, isn't it? You lose the ball, all the good work that you just did is forgotten. But yeah, and I'm hoping, starting 11. Let's go to a starting 11, how I'd like to see it, by the way. Very quickly, what we think on that. Kepa, I like to, like I said, 3 at the back, Thiago in the centre, Fofana right, and then always it's going to have to be Trevor Chalobah on the left, because then Cucurella will have to play instead of Ben Chilwell. I'm hoping Cucurella can go forward and put some balls in the box and not turn it backwards, because there's nobody else for left back. After him, I'd like to see in the mid Reece James.
You've got Cucurella in starting 11, man, and
you can't. The Cucurella fucked us up last time, and then Chilwell got it. I know a lot of people are saying Chilwell was too far away, but when you're playing with 5 at the back, you've got enough space for you to cover basically the whole width of the pitch.
Cucurella was 100%.
Chilwell was just in his position. It was Cucurella who was at fault. Chilwell trying to run back, and you know what? He dragged him behind. He probably thought, if I just put my arm here, try to put him off, trying to put a bit of pressure on him, but Rodrigo was clever, and he twisted his whole body and went ref, you pulled me, and he did. It looked like
it was pulled. For sure.
But Cucurella's on that left side. Mudryk, Enzo, Kante were playing, and then up top, I'd like to see Havertz
is questionable with a knee injury, according to injury updates.
Let's hope that's not true. Let's hope that
because if that's true, then I don't know where you're getting your 4 goals from. I'll tell you that right now.
If that's true, then it'll probably be a probably.
We'll put it this way: Aubameyang, potential striker, he's inactive. Breuer, he's injured. Havertz potentially could be an injured player. So who is going to be up front that's going to score these goals? By the way, that's what I want to know. I need to know that. But again, that's the fun part about football. We're going to have to wait and see, because.
Play Mudryk, man. I'm telling you, play Mudryk up top.
Do something.
Play Mudryk. If that's the case, you play Mudryk up top and just play Sterling and João Felix. Because if these guys wanted to drop and come close for the ball, play Mudryk up top, because he's a bit taller. He's a bit quicker if the ball goes in for counter-attacks. You know what I mean? Just play him. I like because he'll get there quicker. If Reece James were in a counter, gets the ball, and Mudryk's going to be a kind of one-on-one with a defender without the ball running towards the goal. Reece James got the ability to put him through.
Yeah,
And I know this is probably will happen once and it's hypothetical, but that gives me a greater feeling knowing Mudryk is running onto the ball rather than a Sterling or a João Felix. At least
with Mudryk, you know that if he's going to run in behind, he's not going to turn back round and take the player on that he's just cleared. So, he's going to.
No, we've jinxed it now, haven't we? Mudryk is trying to get 5-star rating again.
Absolutely. He needs to get his weaker foot.
Let's hope not.
But okay, next game we've got Napoli AC Milan. Real quick, what are you thinking? It's 1-0 to Milan so far. And
big game, very very big game. Milan obviously won it. Milan beat Napoli in the league twice, I think, as well, home anyway. So for me, I think I'm just going with my alliance. I think Milan will win. I'll probably be a draw and Milan get through. Probably 1-1. Milan make it through. I hope Napoli do really well, though. I'd like to see Napoli do well, but because my Milan is, and I'm a Milan fan, I sound hypocritical now, but yeah, I do think Milan will probably make it through. But
I think Napoli are going to take that game. I think it's going to be a 2-0 Napoli on that game, and I think Napoli are going to make it through. I don't know. Same with AC, they're just not filling me with confidence. Where they're sort of gone in and swiped teams or dominated teams 100%. The last games have been 0-0s and 1-1s and that type of stuff. And it's I think as much as I want AC Milan to go ahead and obviously perform well in the league, in the Champions League, I just think Napoli are going to take it 2-0. 2-0 Napoli. Yeah.
Is there a striker playing?
Osimhen.
Osimhen, sorry,
let's have a look. From what I see here, there is no one missing. So,
all systems go. Because even when it seems like he's not playing, they don't seem to be doing very well. They seem to struggle.
From what I've seen here, it sounds like. So here we go. So, consequent, Milan could now become the first team to beat Napoli 3 times in one season. So, if they win this match, they could become, to win that. So yeah, I think AC gonna probably struggle a little bit, especially at Napoli's ground. But again, like you said, it's football, so this is just pure speculation at this point. Yeah, this is just happen, educated guesses, and I say that in quotation marks for those who can't see. And then Wednesday, obviously, cracker of a match yet again. We've got Bayern versus City. What are we thinking, Rick? Realistically,
I think it'll be a tight game. Realistically, I think Bayern will win, but I think it'll be a very tight game.
Like a 2-1 Bayern or something.
The way City seems to be playing, something like that. But City will make it through. But I think what it is this City formation. Nobody seems to have an answer for it. He seems to be playing with like 7 attackers, and you think, what is going on
it's
there?
It's the flying V. We said this last week, didn't we? It was the flying
that's
V.
Literally, that's what it is. But John Stone seems to be flawless in that midfield position. He seems to be dropping in, dropping back to defence, quickly stepping forward into midfield. You saw the goal he scored at the weekend as well.
He's like a secret weapon. He's becoming like a secret weapon for Guardiola because, you think he plays defence, do you? All right, nice one. Let me try him in midfield. Comes in midfield. Obviously, he does his drops in that sort of deeper role. He does an amazing job, and he's had a good season so far. I feel
it's good to see as well, though, isn't it? Because I remember him getting a lot of stick, 50 million from Everton. Who is this guy? And he was so good on the ball, and it just goes to show, you've got class. Class is permanent. Technique is permanent. You just need to have the confidence, and you need a manager probably who believes in you or plays a certain way for you to have. For you to show your that's the place to your strengths.
And I think Stones, like I said, he's had a good season so far. So I think probably Bayern will win, but Man City will make it through. I feel, maybe like a 2-1 Bayern, and that takes it up to 4-2 in aggregate. So City will make it through, and the last game, Inter versus Benfica, 2-0. It was 2-0 Inter. It's at San Siro. I think Inter are gonna, even if Inter
will get through.
I think it may be a draw to be fair, as a match, as a standalone match, but Inter will make it through. Yeah, I think so as well. So it should be interesting.
I do hope for Bayern though it's a 3-0 Bayern, and then we get to see extra football because it'll be just fantastic.
If Man City,
just for the neutral.
Lose to Bayern at this late stage.
You're going to say bottle it then. Your lips look like you were about to say bottle.
My next word is going to be, if they lose to Bayern after a 3-0 thrashing of them, they will have bottled the Champions League. And that's fair enough.
Listen, you cannot say that about City after a knockout game. When you say to your team, no, I can't say Arsenal bottled it. After
3-0, man, you've got to manage the game at this point. It's not like a 1-0 away. It could go either way. It's 3-0. You need to manage the game. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. No, it's too much of a thing. And I think if City do lose, you point at Guardiola. You point at Guardiola if he overcomplicates it. And, sometimes you like to think he will. But I'm hoping Tuchel does something simply because, obviously, the love that I have for Thomas Tuchel.
If Guardiola goes for like a reverse V, then it's a problem. But if he sticks with the flying V, I think he's gonna win it.
He'll be fine, won't he?
But so what? Okay, I mean, obviously we're going to be back later on in the week to discuss the scores, and obviously I know Man United will be playing on Thursday as well against Sevilla.
Yeah, that's a huge game, isn't it? Because obviously they were 2-0 up and 2-2. Yeah, 2-1 goals as well.
Lisandro Martinez got injured obviously last week, so you could say that. I think the goal that bounced off Harry Maguire's head was hilarious. Maybe
that's just like it couldn't have happened to anyone worse. Could it?
Maybe I shouldn't be laughing at opposition teams. I think I've trying to learn my lesson, but I can't help but laugh. And with Chelsea, by the way.
Well, you guys are playing on Friday, aren't they? By the way, you guys have got.
So I think we're definitely going to be back with the Thursday podcast, ready for the Friday. We'll do little predictions for the weekend as we always do. But is there anything else that you want to add, by the way? Because we don't even have any F1 until the very last weekend of April, so we still got another 2 weeks.
I know it's crazy that isn't it? But I found out why the Chinese Grand Prix is not. It's due to the COVID restrictions.
Still.
That's why the Chinese Grand Prix didn't go on. It didn't have anything to do with contract not renewed. It had to do with COVID restrictions.
There we go.
So they couldn't obviously allow.
That's what they're saying. But we'll
Well, that's what they're saying. But that's what we just take.
We read the news. We read the news. We report on that shit apparently. So, but
that's what we do.
I don't have anything else to add, by the way, for the weekend. And like I said, we'll be back on Thursday. So, Rick, if you don't have anything to add, we'll bring it to an end.
Send us out, man. Send us out. Now I've got nothing to say, and just come on, you Blues. Hopefully.
Are you talking about City? Are you talking about City? What are you talking about?
Something cheerful. No, I'm talking about the darker blue. Darker blue. No, I'm just honestly I'm excited for the game tomorrow, but hopefully I'll be.
It should be a very exciting game for sure. But look, we'll be back, like I said, on Friday with a brand new episode. We'll record on Thursday. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. As always, if you have any comments, reach out to us at NESportscast. I think that's it.
That's the Instagram, one. That's Twitter,
or if you want to send us an email, you can do that as well. But you'll find the details wherever you find the details. So, thank you so much, and stay safe, stay alive.